This introduction to the imposing Taoist verse, holding to the constant, wasn't so easy to put into words, but I hope it works for those who are listening. Many know that Taoism began in China around 500 BCE and evolved as a prominent philosophy and spiritual practice, which emphasizes harmony with the natural order and flow of the universe. Because it is largely non-conceptual and based more on the unseen principles behind consciousness, being, and unfolding, it can be difficult to grasp and to understand with our more rational and sensory-driven minds. Taoist philosophy, like that of Zen Buddhism, is really impossible to describe definitively because it is centrally concerned with the single eternal principle that underlies the coming into being of all things in nature, along with their evolution, their progression, demise, and even their apparent disappearance. At its majestic height of all-inclusive indivisibility and simplicity, the Tao simply means the way. The early foundations and formations of Taoism are mostly attributed to Lao Tzu, the author of the renowned Tao Te Ching, who is said to have lived from 604 to 531 BCE. The Tao Te Ching, which is among the most translated books in literary history and is greatly revered the world over, suggests that all that is intimately interconnected and ultimately undifferentiated, and that it has its own inherent spiritual nature. I still have my very first copy from well over 50 years ago. In practice, Taoism encourages genuine and vibrant harmony throughout all actions and interactions stemming from oneself as well as with nature in all aspects and at every level. Therefore, it is naturally intended to provide humanity with correct ethical and moral direction, and ultimately lead to higher intuitive understanding of all phenomena. And so, when it comes to Taoism, as is no less true with every philosophy, every spiritual tradition, and every religion, it is best to try to understand, say less, practice more, and surrender to the guidance that is always streaming from our souls through our very own conscience. The following passage, Holding to the Constant, is by Lao Tzu himself. And maybe I should mention that when you hear the term, the 10,000 things, which I've used in some of my own poetry, it is referring to all the many things and manifestations in this world of relativity and of names and forms throughout nature. Okay, here it is. Break into the peace within. Hold attention in stillness. And in the world outside, you will ably master the 10,000 things. All things rise and flourish, then go back to their roots. Seeing this return brings true rest. where you discover who you really are. Knowing who you are, you will find the constant. Those who lack harmony with the constant court danger. But those who have it gain new vision. They act with compassion. Within themselves, they can find room for everything. Having room, they rule themselves and lead others wisely. Being wise, they live in accordance with the nature of things. Emptied of self and one with nature, they become filled with the Tao. The Tao endures forever. For those who have attained harmony with the Tao will never lose it, even if their bodies die.